Jesus Christ, where's that water come from? Today I'm going to fit a new radiator in this room. I am not a professional plumber, but I'm going to hopefully show you that if you work methodically, you can do anything. Here's the radiator here, 1200 by 500. This is my in-laws place and they're slowly working through each room and modernising it. So this used to have a single radiator, a type 11, and it was quite wide, but they wouldn't put wardrobes in here. I need to adjust that pipework. So that is the return pipe. And then we've got a flow pipe, but there's no continuation on either of them. And then it goes down there into a 22mm main run, and it looks like the radiators just branch off each one. First things first, we need to turn off all those radiators upstairs. When I say turn off, shut the valves. And now I've done that, I'm going to turn the ones downstairs off as well. Look at that pipe. Someone's installed a Type 22, a so-called professional, and they haven't bothered to move the pipe out. Look at the angle on that. Spotted a drain off point. But I don't think I'm going to use that drain off point. And the reason why I'm shutting off the radiators downstairs and upstairs, because I'm trying to keep as much water in the system as possible and just drain it out the pipes. At least that's what logically makes sense to me. Right, we've got underfloor heating, that's the manifold. Don't want to drain that, so I'm going to isolate this. So that side. The flow and return, so there's a combi boiler, that's going to go this way. Now, this is for the underfloor heating, so we'll turn that off as well. Upstairs heating, cylinder, and downstairs heating is there. So we need to drain the water out of here, in which case through here is a drain off, so we're going to go from this one. I'm going to turn off the boiler. We've got half a bar, that's too low at the moment. Hose outside, hopefully this will stay on because I don't have a Jubilee clip on me. I'm assuming I can drape through this valve. Pressure is slowly dropping. And we've got water. Okay, so we take the safety caps off. That valve's already open. That looks like plumber's mate, and there's no rubber bung in the bottom of that, so it wouldn't have done much anyway. And the radiator is 1200, so I'm going to mark 600 each way. We've got a Kudox radiator, a T21, so if you go on the manufacturer's website, you can put up their specifications, and then you know the pipe centers from the wall off. And I think this one is 64. Let me look it up again. I was close to 66. So I got me a set square and a level there. We're going to make sure it's plumb and we'll mark the floor. So if you haven't worked out already, I'm working out the pipe centers that I need to drill, and then I can pipe up to exactly where it should be and not be on the wonk like the ones downstairs. I am doing this based on logic. No one's ever shown me how to do this. There's a lot of things in life that you just have to work through. I have this discussion with my partner a lot, and she says, oh, I don't know how to do that. And I go, well, no one's ever shown me how to do stuff, and I'll just work it out. Okay, so the radiator is going to be 1200 itself, so you don't want to put the pipework straight there because you need your valves on the ends. Okay, so we've got a new TRV valve and a lock shield. If you want to get that exactly, you should put these in the radiator and then measure where your pipework's going to be. That's 40mm, so I'm going to do 45mm either side, but I will check this later. Just in case, you see these here, you can get extension pieces. These TRV valves, you can get bi-directional ones. This one is not bi-directional, but when it is bi-directional, it can go on the flow and it can go on the return. The reason why I know that is because on my last house, I got the pipes mixed up underneath the floor, which was like 400mm worth of space or something, like I was caving, and I put all the TRV valves on the return end, but they was bi-directional, so I got away with it. I'm using soldering fittings. I'm all right at soldering, so I feel confident enough to do this. Take these bungs out first, and the manufacturer says to do it at least 6 times. I always do it 8, but I've lost count already. Still water in it. Shit. If I had to put a straight bit there, I'm not much closer to them wires, whereas I can move these wires out of the way if I cut it there. And this time I've got a little bucket underneath. Main pipes are cut, needs to start making up the other pipes that need to go in. However, I will not be able to solder because we've got a slight issue. Because if I take this out, there is still water there. I've seen a trick where you put a bit of bread inside. I'm not doing that. I've got a wet vac, so I'm just going to hoover it until the water stops. And I'm going to leave these long because he wants the radiator a certain height. That means I can't solder this joint yet because I need to solder that joint there, and I can't do it when it's up behind this. So at this point you're questioning whether you should just go and spend a tenner on one of these instead and just push it in. We've got a little toothbrush. So you get a bit of flux on that. You need to put it on the end of your pipe. Where the flux is where the solder goes. You see, I've done many solder joints in my lifetime, but I've messed up one. So hopefully this isn't going to be number 2. Fingers crossed. Right, before I do that next one, I need to notch this joist down here. Professional soldering, DIY soldering. So that last joint took a little bit longer. I think it's because a tiny bit of water just in here and it was steaming off. But this is MAP X gas. Apparently it burns hotter, so it should be all right. Just need to do the brackets and the valves now, and then we can see whether that soldering was any good. And I have to fill out the whole system to check that. I've measured off of the sill, and from here across to here, it's 1 mil off of level. So I'm going to go with that because it will look weird if it's straight and then the sill's not straight. Do you understand what I mean? And then you take it back off because you forgot to put these on. How many times have you done that? I think I've done it every single time I fitted the radiator. Half the reason why I left the water in the radiators and stuff is because I didn't buy any inhibitor. But my father-in-law's just gone and got some. So we're just going to whack it in. And I said, well, what's going to happen is I'll probably fill it up and then I'll have a leak and I'll have to drain the whole system again. Look at that, it's bang on. Just do them up like that. if you like. Okay, that's done. Valve's done, valve's done. Bung's done up here. I would say, in terms of I allowed that extra 10mm, I didn't really need that at all, because these are slightly skew width. I reckon 5mm would have been enough for me to squeeze them valves in. But yeah, there we go. So now I'm going to turn the boiler back on and start refilling the system. I'll leave the other radiators off and hopefully it will make it up to here, and then I can see whether I've got any leaks. Hopefully not. Moment of truth. Boiler on. 0 bar. Let's let some water in. Okay, so I'm just going to bleed it off. And I'm going to keep on going between downstairs and up here. I'll let a little bit of water in at a time. We are 1 bar of pressure. No leak, no leak, no leak, no leak, no leak, no leak, no leak. Looks fine. I need to repressurize the system fully, so I'm going to open up all the radiators and then start bleeding them off. Jesus Christ, where's that water come from? Out the tap. It's fine. It's fine. I realised I didn't finish that video. It's been a few weeks. Pressure's dropped a little bit. It's just below 1 bar, but the heating needs to come on, and it's middle of, well, it's nearly summer now, so we'll have to wait. Job's a good one. Give us a thumbs up if you haven't already.